Let's go, champ. Good with it, YouTube fight fans all over the world. It's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it. Real Talk Boxing. It is a privilege and honor and a major blessing to be back with you people, you beautiful people, this Monday morning. Another work week. Still blessed though. I want to jump back on this supposed Canelo Alvarez versus Charlo. And oh yeah, I made a mistake last video. I had the Charlo brothers mixed up. I said that Jamal Charlo had a rematch scheduled with Montiel, and that was baby Charlo. And I want to thank this gentleman for correcting me. He did it in fine fashion with respect, and I can respect that. So my bad. Real talk gets it wrong sometimes. So let's talk about this again. I think every day that we wake up, we're going to hear more and more talks about this fight. I stated I wouldn't believe it until I see it, which I'm still going to, stick by what I said, but it looks like that they're actually talking about this fight. You got Paulo Malignaggi's reaction. I'm reading on Boxing News 24. Paulo Malignaggi says he's excited at the news of Canelo Alvarez, being in talks for the fight in May at super middleweight. So that means that Charlo will be moving up to super middleweight. And I'm going to tell y'all why I have a problem with that. I have an issue with that. Malignaggi feels it's a great fight, and he thinks that Charlo has enough talent to beat Canelo Alvarez. Man, Charlo is a major threat to Canelo, says Paulie, and he's very dangerous for the Mexican star. Canelo had been in talks to fight WBC cruiserweight champion Makabu on May 7th, on the Cinco de Mayo holiday, but he's changed his mind. Malignaggi believes that Canelo is choosing to go in the direction of Charlo because Al Heyman of PBC likely put in a huge offer. You see, money makes sense. Money makes sense. And plus, it's a way bigger fight than Makabu. I stated that on my last video. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand. I can understand that. The fight still hasn't been officially announced, so there's always a chance that it won't happen. With interest from the fans and Canelo-Charlo fight, Canelo would be crazy not to take Charlo next. Okay, here's what I want to talk about on Charlo moving up to super middleweight to fight for the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. Listen, I'm not, I'm not completely sure on how the whole business side works. That's I've never understood the inside mechanics of boxing. I understand more of what's going on in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So as far as negotiations, as far as certain organizations and how it works, I'm not really keen on that, man. I'm a little bit ignorant on it, to be honest with you. I just specialize on what's going on in the ring. But you got a guy, a champion at middleweight that's coming up to fight for the super middleweight titles when you have a super middleweight already there who is a former two-time super middleweight champion who ain't never lost. He lost to the scale and he lost to the test. And that's David Benavidez. If he's going to move up to fight you at middleweight, which it wouldn't be no other way because he's the A side and he's the cash cow, Canelo Alvarez, why won't you just fight David Benavidez, man? That's the fight I want to see. I think it's a bigger fight than Charlo. Would you agree or would you not? Charlo's a huge fight, don't get me wrong. And Canelo should go ahead and get it out the way, and I think he should go ahead and get Boo-Boo out the way, Demetrius. But if you're just not going to fight David Benavidez, a super middleweight, he's already there. which would be a huge fight, which would be fireworks. I mean, that fight would be crazy. Go ahead and get Charlo over with and Boo Boo over with. They've been calling your name for I don't know how many years, so go ahead and do it. I really don't want to think or put in my mind that Canelo's ducking anybody. You know, people can argue, make that argument that he is, but I just say he can do what he want to do, you know? But, you know, when you got Al Heyman in the mix, when you got him throwing money up in your face, and you already got, you know, the critics, and you getting all this backlash for wanting to fight Makabu for his WBC Cruiserweight champion, then, you know, you're standing to make more money against a way bigger name. People actually know Charlo, and people want you to knock Charlo out. And there's a lot of people like that who want Charlo to come up and beat you. Now, can Charlo beat Canelo Alvarez? If you ask me, nah, but I'm not going to rule it out. Anything's possible. It's boxing, right? These are two elite fighters. Now, Canelo is super elite, but I think Charlo is just regular elite. He is a world champion. But has he seen what Canelo has seen? Has he got more dog in him than Canelo? I see Canelo having to catch up with Charlo, obviously. I mean, he has to catch up with a lot of fighters, especially with Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant did very, very well that first half of that fight. A lot of people don't think he did, but he did. But Canelo ended up catching up with him, breaking him down with the body shots, and ultimately getting him out of there. I think the same thing is going to happen with Charlo, but Charlo is way more aggressive than Plant and is heavier-handed than Pillow Fist Plant too. So if him and Plant's not going to fight, if he's not going to, you know, rematch like they have been talking about, I think it's Castano. I think it is, not Montiel. And if I made a mistake on that, somebody let me know. Go ahead and get Charlo out the way. If you're not going to fight Benavidez next, go ahead and get Boo Boo out the way. But eventually I want to see you fighting David Benavidez. I know you don't have to, but we want to see it. And for you to not fight for the Cruiserweight title and elect to fight a middleweight next, that put a bad taste in my mouth. I ain't saying you ducking nobody, Canelo, but you got a super middleweight right there who's willing to fight you, who you willing to make a buttload of money. You stand to make a buttload of money with, and the fight will be fireworks. That's all I'm saying. But what you saying, comment down below, let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all, fear none, God bless. Till the next time, Real Talk Boxing. I'm up and I'm out of here, baby. Click, click, boom.